Hi, I'm Daniel Lucas, and welcome to Book 101 Review. Book 101 is all about the books that I've read for the last 40 years. And today I have my special guest. As an author of 21 books, people, speaker, holistic counselor, no other than Dr. Evette Rose. Welcome to Book 101, Dr. Evette. Can you please introduce more about yourself?
Wonderful. Daniel, thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. And I am thrilled to be here with you and everyone else who are also book lovers. I also share a very deep passion for that, as you can see, 21 books. And what I love about books is that this is not just about sharing a story, but it really truly was to capture very big pivotal moments in my life where I feel like, life pushed me right onto my knees. When we feel that we can't go anymore, where we feel that we don't have the tools or the resources to get through difficult times. But it's interesting that that's the moment when we actually realize how strong we are, is when we don't have a choice to be weak anymore. And it is absolutely such a joy for me now, not at the time, but now, to be able to share these big moments in my life and what I learned and how I moved out of that. And this has helped also many other people who also related to that. And it's just that incredible feedback and that healing journeys that people also share with me as a result, that just continues to inspire me to write more and to share more, and just to break through that vulnerability of speaking out about certain things that happen, and to not make it about ego. Oh my God, people are going to judge me. It's actually a lot of other people are also suffering in silence. And I'm thankful that my voice is wide open, and I share my story, and I share it shamelessly. And I'm thankful that people also receive it so beautifully. They receive it very with open hearts, open arms, and I see beautiful transformations as well. So that's the core of my story. That's the core of why I'm a professional author as well, because I do this full time. This is my job. I'm a speaker as well, but writing books that's my profession.
Dr. Evette Rose, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world.
Thank you.
Metaphysical anatomy is such a powerful term. Can you explain the core principle behind metaphysical anatomy technique and what make it distinct from other somatic or trauma therapies?
That's a really great question. So you're referring to this big book, which is what I have. So this is one of 21 books. I have another one for children, which is just the same size. So if you look here, actually, I wrote Metaphysical Anatomy. So meta means that's overarching space between you and I, where things happen that we might not be able to explain, but we know it is there. Daniel, have you ever had a moment where you see someone sitting maybe far away from you, well, not too far, but enough so you can see them, but you can't see their face, but somehow you can just feel that something is just not right. Maybe they're not doing well. They're maybe sad. Maybe they're heavily depressed. Maybe they just lost someone, but there's nothing to prove to you that there actually something happened. You can't see their face, but you can feel it, right? You've had moments like that.
Yes.
Very good. Beautiful. This is our sixth sense. This is a natural ability that we all have. And that is to sense our environment, and it's to interpret that feedback that comes back to us. And that is how we are able to pick up what is going on with other people. This is actually a survival response, but it's also a survival response that we can turn into a healing response. And what I say by meaning that is, if you can feel what that person's energizing, imagine what happens if that person is energizing positive thoughts, positive uplifting feelings, and it's specifically directed at you. What do you think is going to happen? It's going to elevate you. It's going to elevate you. It's going to pull you into that beautiful potential that that person is holding for you. And this is not rocket science. We do this every single day. This is just now a very beautiful, digestible way of interpreting that. So what I'm teaching people in my work is to help people to elevate them out of that stuck place, out of that place where they feel distressed, where they feel there's no way forward. Maybe it's sadness, maybe there's career stress, whatever the challenge is. It's to use that mythology, that concept that we bring into the space of a session. And what makes the work so powerful and what people love about it, and something that I am very passionate about, is number one,
Yes.
you don't have to talk about your trauma. Because a lot of the time people go through very, very difficult times, and just talking about it can be re-traumatizing, which just anchors in the trauma again, and we don't want that. And secondly, you don't need to remember what had happened to you in order to successfully clear it. That's the other point that's very, very popular with that as well, because sometimes you just feel anxiety and you're sitting and you're thinking, oh my goodness, why do I feel this way? Right? It's unidentified fear. What do we do with people who cannot identify the fears that they have? Right? So the technique beautifully holds that space for people also who cannot identify certain core reasons why they feel the way that they do, whether it's anxiety or depression or self-sabotaging behaviors and so forth. So this is what people really love about it, because for me, an approach needs to hold the space for people wherever it is that they are. And sometimes people just need to talk. They just need to release that energy. So the process is also designed to hold space for exactly that, and then still to get them into a really beautiful place of more alignment, helping the nervous system to regulate as well. And we also add a little bit of bilateral processing in it to get the left and the right hemisphere to start to rebalance itself and to integrate memories in a non-traumatic way, because I do not believe in re-traumatizing when we do healing work, which can very easily happen as well, because it happened to me in the past when I worked with someone else. And because of that experience, I absolutely made it one of my greatest missions to design a safe process that people would not have to experience what I experienced. So
Very
that's what
well
makes the
said.
technique different and unique. Yeah. So
Yes.
all my research, and it comes from working with over 7,000 clients, actually 7,500 clients now. And when you work with so many people, Daniel, let me tell you, and across the world, you see
Yes.
a lot. You see a lot, you experience a lot, and you learn a lot.
So
So yeah.
yes, indeed. Very well said, Dr. Evette. Very well said. Your work deeply connects emotional trauma and physical
Mm.
symptoms. How do you typically help someone identify the specific emotional root of a persistent psychosomic ailment?
Yes, that's a really great question. So firstly, there's two ways of doing it. The first way to do it that a lot of people love is to actually use this book, because this book is about 722 medical ailments and the emotions that impact and the psychosomatic messages behind them. And this comes from the 7,500 clients that I work with. So a lot of people can just go straight in there and they can go and look at, say, ear problems, and then you can go and read and you'll see there what resonates with you. And the power of that, and the reason why this works for a lot of people and why this is used in hospitals, doctors' offices, psychiatrists, psychologists, reflexologists, hypnotherapists, even alternative healing practitioners, anyone who just wants to know and learn more about their body and the messages that are stuck in there. The universal language of how we store trauma is the same for everyone, and how certain emotions and certain traumatic events at least affect us in the area of the body that it also affects. It's very universal. And that is why so many thousands and thousands and actually millions of people resonate with the message that is in there. And what we also can do as a second option And then, of course, you apply the technique, the metapsychology coaching technique, once you have found the emotional root of that. But if you don't have the book, another beautiful way of doing it is to help a person to start to, first of all, feel safe. The body is not going to heal. The nervous system is not going to regulate if it doesn't feel safe. And if it feels unsafe, of course, with the stress that you are addressing, because that's why it's still stuck, because the body's still stuck in a state of feeling unsafe. We do grounding techniques first. We can do maybe a little bit of breath work. We find your safe place. We keep you in your window of tolerance, which is incredibly important as well, to keep the person in that safe space as well. And then we reconnect back to the body. We give the body a voice and we listen. And we listen by observing sensations. What does the body maybe want to do when we connect to a certain stress? Where does your awareness feel drawn to in the body where that stress could be stuck? Maybe it's tension. Maybe it's just, it can be pain. It can be discomfort. Maybe you just intuitively feel that your awareness is just drawn somewhere into the body as well. And then we bring our full focus and awareness to that specific point in the body. And here is where it actually gets fun. So I like to do the sessions in a very lighthearted, gentle way, because it is trauma. So it can feel very heavy. It can sometimes feel a little bit intimidating. So we pretend that the body has a voice. Because when we start to pretend and we use our imagination, we start to relax. Now we become playful. And we feel less stressed about getting the answer right, because we're just being in a playful mode. And I find that people very accurately find the answers in the body. It doesn't matter how intuitive you think you are. It doesn't matter your experience in life. It doesn't matter at all. Every single time when we do a quick countdown of 1, 2, 3, what's the message? It comes forward. Whether it's a color, a sensation, a word, a message, and then we decode what that response could mean for that person as well. And then we start the session with that as well.
Interesting, Dr. Evette. As holistic counselor, how do you integrate traditional psychological understanding with the more metaphysical or soulful aspect central to IST or integrative soulful therapy in a practical session?
So that's a really good question. So basically what we do is we continue to hold the session together as a talking therapy. So we still converse, we still ask questions, we still help the person to connect to their strengths, their resources. And so it's that structure that we combine with a bit of a metaphysical side to it. That is where we start to look into the somatic side of the body. That's when we start to listen to, well, that's what you say on a cognitive level, but what is the body saying on a somatic level? So this is where the blend gently starts to come together and giving both sides of the body a chance to speak. I always say that we have a dual experience. And what I mean by saying that, it means that we have that essence of us as you see me in the here and now, that part of us that just wants to be loved. We want to connect. We want to have unity. And then we have another side to us that is purely focused on survival. It's a very primal response. And so we want the process, or at least we want a process, to blend these two dualities together and bring them back into harmony. Because sometimes a discord between these needs, between these two different experiences, can also cause a lot of distress, right? So someone who's, for example, pursued in money all the time might be lacking love in their life. So we want to bring these two elements also really gently together so that the person can come back into alignment, right? Because we are most powerful when we are coherent.
Very well said again, Dr. Evette. Very well said. And as an author, speaker, and holistic counselor, what are your short-term and long-term goals?
That's a really great question. So short term is to continue to help people achieve the best results in their life. I have trained thousands of people across the world as well to become metapsychology coaches. So I love to empower people, to empower people, to empower people, because sometimes if you just help one person, there's maybe 10, 20 other people that you're helping as a result of how this person benefited from your support, right? So it's really about elevating people and to continue to do that. And that also means to live a balanced life so that I can stay balanced and I can continue to support, help other people to do that. I teach my events to empower people with the technique, because you can become a practitioner, or you can actually learn how to do it yourself and become your own best practitioner. I've had a lot of people actually fire their therapist because now they can do the healing work all by themselves and they feel more empowered and they can go to the therapist when they get stuck. So it's really depending on what people need. And that is what I love to bring space to. That's where I love to bring support. And my long-term goal is to find and to bring together very big research projects to research and rediscover our intelligence in the body and mind and our self-healing capabilities. So that's the short and that's the long.
Good luck to your goals, Dr. Evette, and hoping for more and more and more success, and for sure
Thank you so
more
much.
books to come. What would be your piece of advice for those people out there who want to write their own book as well as become a speaker and holistic counselor?
That's a really great question. So first of all, how I started with my autobiography. So I went right where it was, for me personally, probably the hardest. It was tough to write my story and finally see it in front of me on the screen, where it was in the past, it was always just in my mind. It was just always in the form of emotions and negative thoughts. And to see it on the screen made it even more real for me. So that was a very, quite a tough process. So I would maybe suggest to start writing about something that you are passionate about. Start where your strengths are. And what I did was I would just start writing and I would literally type. I have no idea what I'm going to be writing about right now. And so, so this is how I started. And somehow after the first page, onto the second page, the ideas would start come, right? The ideas would start to come. And then I would stop typing and I'll write the ideas down on post-it notepads. And when I would look at the post-it notepads, I'll look at the different concepts. And then I'll say, okay, so what makes most sense to put this in a chronological order so that when people would read it, it would actually make sense. And then we would restructure it. And then I would go into each post-it notepad and I would write my segments. So I think that could be a really, really great idea for anyone who would love to write a book, to explore that way and see if that maybe works for you.
Yes, people. If you're listening right now, please do follow Dr. Yvette if you want to be an author like her. Lots of books. And thank you for your advice, Miss or Dr. Yvette. Based on your extensive experience and research, what emerging trend or understanding do you believe will most shape the future of trauma recovery?
Honestly, I see that AI is making quite a big impact at the moment. However, my concern with artificial intelligence and mental health, the challenge that I'm seeing is that people are treating the condition cognitively, where the messages are being sent back and forth. And maybe there are other modalities or maybe AI support out there that supports the entire body. But my concern with that is assuming that trauma is just held in the mind when it's not. Trauma can be held throughout the entire body. And that means stress can be held in different parts of the body. So what happens to these other parts of the body if there's only focus in one area to resolve that? Or not even resolve it. It's teaching people how to live and deal with certain issues or challenges that could potentially be resolved in a more healthier way through self-empowerment. So these are my concerns. These are the questions that's going through my mind. So if I had to think out loud, that is what you would be hearing right now in my mind, and wondering what could the potential long-term consequences be of addressing mental health challenges or anxiety or depression in that manner. Is it really truly supporting the body, or is it actually distorting and disrupting the body's natural rhythm and way of functioning even more?
Dr. Evette, beyond symptom reduction, how do you help clients, or how do they know they are truly moving towards that freed and fulfilling state you describe?
By exactly feeling what you just said, to start to feel more free, to start to feel more content with your life. At the end of the day, we don't address symptoms. You will be working for years on the challenge. We want to get what's behind the symptoms so that we can collapse the structure as to why a person have certain symptoms in their life, for example. Right? So it's if someone is, for example, a nervous speaker, and okay, well, I can coach you how to maybe to do certain trends or breath work before speaking, do meditation before speaking. Well, these are really great tools to help you to just get through it. But it doesn't mean that your next speaking event, you're going to stand in your power and you're going to feel great and you're going to feel confident. That is the result that I want, right? I am more interested in going into that nervousness. Let's meet that nervousness in a safe way, in a non-traumatic way. And let's start to give that nervousness a voice, because it's there. It wants to speak, but we just don't understand the language of the body. So we need to move back into that and just decode it in a way that is more understandable to us, because the body doesn't speak English the way that you and I are communicating right now. So it's up to us to learn to understand what the body is trying to say, because your body is your biggest cheerleader. Its sole purpose is to keep you alive. It's not working against you. Its sole purpose is to
True.
keep you alive. And sometimes where we see a problem and then we go into it with a negative mindset, you can't be in solution oriented state if you go into something with a negative mindset. You're in the opposite, right? So we want to start to reframe how we see a challenge that the body is going through, because if it's in pain, it means there's pain. If there's distress, it means something happened that's unresolved. And the only way that the body can let you know is through discomfort, because you're not going to listen when things are going well. Well, things are going well, there's nothing to listen to. So we glaze over it. So the body's going to push back with discomfort, right?
Good.
So,
Yes.
and then we
Totally
have to
agree with
take
you.
action.
Your background includes both a PhD and MBA, a fascinating combination. How does your business acumen influence how you develop, teach, and scale your healing methodologies?
That's a really great question. So there's a lot of things that I actually had to put on the shelf and to stay connected to where it is that my true northern light in my heart needed to go. Because sometimes, preconceived notions and structures and concepts and research that we learn is not always necessarily going to be that perfect stepping stone to get you to where it is that you want to be. When you are doing something creative, you get into that flow state, right? And then you just want to do more of what it is that you're good at. And that's because you are fully connected to you. You're fully connected to what it is that makes you happy. It's not because you're following a structure that you had to learn in order to be able to pass, right? So there's a
Yeah.
different approach, completely different approach. So I've had to learn to respect what my true needs are and what holds me in alignment. And sometimes that also meant pushing away or just temporarily putting aside what I had learned.
Very well said, Miss Evette, and congratulations for being a PhD and MBA. truly amazing. And before we wrap up our discussion for today, I'm inviting you to please to listen to my other podcast, people. My other podcast, because my abstract essay is already in fifth season, abstract poetry in second season, and book 101 review in fifth season too. Comedy 101 in second season, and food 101 in its fifth season as well. Geography 101 in fourth season, and my baby podcast Law 101 and Mental Health 101. Love Letters in its third season, and Movie 101 Review and Music 101 in its fourth season, and Science 101 and Sex 101 in first season. Please listen to them wherever you listen your podcast. Dr. Evette, looking at the vast scope of your work from research and writing to developing techniques and public speaking, what impact do you most hope your legacy will have on the field of holistic healing and trauma recovery?
To give you a very powerful and short answer is to give people the power back. Give people the natural capacity to move through stressful events and have the tools and the understanding of their healing capacity and to apply it on a daily basis.
Indeed, Dr. Evette Rose, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world. And we are hoping for more and more and more empowering books to come, more and more empowering public speaking to come, and of course, more
Yes.
techniques to come. So can you please invite our listeners to support your advocacy, your books, or whatever your projects what you're doing right now?
So I actually have a free self-love workshop that's coming up very soon that will be on live Zoom. It's completely free. So I do invite people who would like to come and join us there. You can come. I have many other events coming up, as well as my books page that Daniel has wonderfully shared here with us as well. So you can go to evettebooks.com and just see what I'm up. Every Wednesday, I have free masterclasses as well. You can go to matmasterclass.com and register for free. We have them weekly. So do come and join us.
Yes, people, let's support Dr. Evette Rose, because if you support her, more and more and more empowering activities to come. So, Dr. Evette, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Daniel.
Bodycon people, see you soon.